Your birthday is tomorrow, and you don't care. Not in a dramatic, I reject society way, you just don't feel anything about it. Meanwhile, everyone around you is treating birthdays like national holidays. Birthday weeks, birthday months, coordinated outfits, group chats, expectations. So many expectations. Your friends think you're strange. Your family thinks you're being stubborn. But what if you're not difficult? What if your brain is doing something very intentional? Today, we're unpacking the psychology of people who treat their birthday like it's just another Tuesday. And no, this isn't about being edgy or low effort. This goes way deeper than that. We're talking autonomy, childhood learning, cultural conditioning, emotional defense systems, and yes, just a hint of existential dread. Fun stuff. Let's start with an uncomfortable truth about birthdays. They put you in the spotlight whether you asked for it or not. For one day, you become the main character. People look at you, sing to you, ask you what you want, and for some people, that feels less like a celebration and more like a hostage situation. Psychologists describe this discomfort as spotlight-related anxiety. It's the unease that comes from being the center of attention. But here's the twist. It's not always about social fear. A lot of the time, it's about control. Think about how birthdays actually work. Other people decide how you're celebrated. They choose the restaurant, the plans, the timing, the gifts. You're supposed to smile, react correctly, and be grateful in real time. You're not directing the day. You're reacting to it. For people with strong autonomy needs, that loss of control can feel genuinely stressful. Research on personality traits suggests that people with a strong internal locus of control, those who feel most comfortable when they're steering their own life, often report less enjoyment from traditional birthday celebrations. To them, a normal day feels better because they're still in the driver's seat.
But that's just the first layer. Here's where it gets more interesting. Some people don't downplay their birthday because they don't want attention. They do it because they want it too much. Picture this. You're a kid. You've been counting down to your birthday for weeks. You imagine how it's going to feel, exciting, special, validating. And then reality shows up late and underdelivers. Maybe the cake is wrong. Maybe people forget. Maybe the energy just isn't there. That gap between what you imagined and what actually happened, that sticks. Psychologists call this a prediction error. Our brains are constantly forecasting how things will feel. When the emotional payoff falls short, the disappointment hits harder than if we hadn't expected much at all. So, the brain adapts. If you don't build the day up, you can't be let down. If you treat it like nothing special, nothing can go wrong. For some people, ignoring their birthday isn't indifference, it's emotional risk management. They learned early, consciously or not, that lowering expectations is safer than hoping. No hype, no heartbreak. And then there's the darker layer. Birthdays are time markers. They count something we usually try not to think about: aging, time passing, the fact that you are moving forward whether you like it or not. Terror management theory, yes, that's the real name, suggests that reminders of mortality trigger subtle anxiety responses. And birthdays, they're annual reminders that the clock is still running.
Some people cope by celebrating loudly. Others cope by minimizing the reminder. Research on mortality awareness shows that certain personality types respond by downplaying milestones altogether. It's not a conscious thought like, I'm closer to death now. It's more like an emotional flinch. Treating the day as ordinary helps keep that discomfort quiet. Celebrating life by pretending the day isn't special. But we're not done yet. There's another group of birthday avoiders who might surprise you. These people don't avoid birthdays because they don't care. They avoid them because they care too much. They have an ideal version of their birthday in their head. The perfect vibe, the perfect people, the perfect feeling. And the problem is, real life can't compete with that. So instead of risking disappointment, they opt out entirely. This is something psychologists often see in people high in creativity and emotional sensitivity. They imagine deeply, feel intensely, and hold themselves to impossible standards. If the day isn't perfect, it feels like a failure. So the safest move is to never test the fantasy against reality. From the outside, it looks like apathy. Inside, it's preservation. This connects to what researcher Brené Brown calls foreboding joy, the tendency to dampen positive experiences in advance as protection against disappointment. You don't let yourself fully lean into joy because you're bracing for the drop. Now, let's zoom out. Not everyone grows up in a culture where birthdays are treated like personal milestones. In many collectivist cultures, individual celebrations are secondary to family, community, or age-based traditions. Some people celebrate on different dates. Some don't emphasize the individual at all. If you grew up in an environment where birthdays were low-key or barely acknowledged, treating them casually isn't avoidance. It's just normal. Your emotional baseline is different. You're not rejecting meaning. You never learned that the day was supposed to carry it. Context matters, always. So pause for a moment. Which of these landed for you? Control? Expectation protection? Discomfort with attention? Fear of disappointment? Cultural conditioning? Or something else entirely? Because here's the final twist.
Some people who treat their birthday like a regular day aren't damaged, avoidant, or emotionally blocked. They might actually be the most psychologically secure people in the room. Authentic self-worth doesn't require a designated day. People with secure attachment styles and strong internal validation don't need an annual reminder that they matter. They already feel it. Appreciation doesn't have to be concentrated into one performative moment. For them, a birthday is nice, but not necessary. Meanwhile, for others, needing the day to be huge can sometimes reflect a lack of feeling seen the rest of the year. Not always, but sometimes. So what's the psychology of people who don't care about their birthday? It's layered. It's personal. It's not one thing. And sometimes, let's be honest, it really is just a normal day and they forgot it was coming. Either way, the next time someone shrugs when you mention their birthday, maybe don't assume they're being weird. They might just be navigating attention, expectation, and meaning in the way that feels safest to them. And honestly, that's valid. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to start planning my birthday, which is several months away. Just in case. If this kind of psychological deep dive is your thing, the next video explores another mind-bending topic. Check it out right here. And if you want to support the channel, subscribing or becoming a member genuinely helps me keep researching, writing, and turning complex psychology into stories that actually make sense. Thanks for being here.